So everything God calls you to do is going to be bigger than you. Because that means you're going to have to fully rely on God. That's what God was teaching Gideon here. Do we fully rely on God? Most days we do what we do, and we have natural talents and abilities to get us through, do we not? But we need to learn to truly rely on God once again. Quit being mad and hurt all the time. Maybe the next time something hard comes in your life, like something hard come there with Gideon, maybe we ought to be looking up and saying, okay, God, I'm listening. I know you didn't send this by my way to kill me. I know, Lord, what it says in John 10:10. The enemy comes not but to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus said, I have come that they might have life and they might have it more abundantly. So I'm not living in death and destruction. I'm going to live the life that Jesus laid down his life for. I'm not only going to live the life, I'm going to live the abundant life in Jesus Christ. I'm going to step out of the way I used to think. I'm going to be like Gideon. Maybe it looks bigger than me right now, God, but once I make sure this is what you want me to do, every demon in hell's not going to stop me from doing what God's put me on this earth. So maybe you come in here this morning and saying, man, there's a lot of things I just don't know. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've served God a lot of years, and there's a lot of things I still don't know. But what I do know is, and God showed me time and time again, laying fleeces out is nothing more than seeking God to make sure that you are in his will. You know, the Bible tells us very plainly, by the mercies of God, you need to present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto him, because it is your reasonable service. It says not to be conformed to this world, but by the transforming and renewing of your mind, you may prove what is the acceptable and perfect will of God. Some of us get to the acceptable will of God because we're just skirting the edges. But I want to find the perfect will of God. Who else wants to find the perfect will of God? Let's begin to seek him. If it means putting a fleece out, just seek him, because that's what Gideon was doing. Let's get to the point when someone questions your decisions in life, you can look at them and say, they say, why are you doing that? Say, because I know. I know with everything in me. And when God shows you that you just know. And when he shows you that so passionately, there ain't nothing going to move you. That's what God wants us to get. God wants us to get at that place. So if you're in the waiting this morning, church, if you're trying to figure it out, don't get discouraged in the waiting. Just keep seeking God. Every morning, the first breath you take, God, I'm still waiting. I need to know what you want me to do. All day, every time that confusion enters your mind, say, God, I'm lifting it up to you again. Before you go to bed at night, God, I need direction. I need to know I'm doing what you want me to do. And if we can get to that point, see, Gideon never told God no. He just wanted to make sure he was where God wanted him to be. See, you know, I preached a lot of sermons, just say yes to God. But you know, at the end of the day, what are we saying yes to? How do we know what we're saying yes to? That begins the journey. I have to seek God. So putting the fleeces out was merely seeking God to say, is this really what you want me to do? And you know what? God will show himself to you, and God will give you the directions. And when you get up, you can say, if you know, you know, and I know. That's where we got to get to with God. How many of us here, and let's all be honest, and I got to quit because I'm on overtime. Preaching's the only job you get docked for going over. You don't get extra money, by the way. Just joking. Anyway, how many of us here have toiled over decisions in life and spent maybe months and years trying to figure things out? But when it comes to the things of God, if we don't get it in 15 minutes, we're mad. Think about it. How many, come on, we can all be honest. We've been there. Let's switch the course. You know what? The things of life, they're going to work themselves out. Let's seek God with that kind of passion, that kind of fervency. Because as we seek God, we're always going to get an answer. You know, so today I want to encourage you. Let's get back. Let's be like Gideon. I know you got a plan, God, but I need to make sure I'm doing what you want me to do. And when you get to that point, you will know the will of God. You'll know it. But it's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to be turning down things that you thought you wanted for God to open doors that are even greater. So I want to encourage each and every one of you today, if you're here and you heard this sermon, God's got something great planned for you in the near future. But why he sent me by this way is because he wanted you to be ready. He didn't want you to come to that point when everything was getting ready to unfold and you're standing there in doubt. He wants you to be prepared. See, God was preparing Gideon to stand against over 30,000 men with just 300. But you know what? Gideon didn't falter when the pressure came on. We got to be prepared, and God will lead us to that point. This morning, if I can get my piano player and my musicians, my song leader, all you great folks come up here. Today, I want to remind you, and I know that when the Bible said God's not the author of confusion, really that was in Corinthians when they was struggling in the church. And there was a lot of confusion in the church. But I believe that flows over into every part of our life. God is not the author of confusion. If you're living in confusion, you need to get back to prayer. You need to get back to seeking God. Because God can take that confusion and he can give you peace. Even if the world's falling apart around you, God can still let you walk through the ashes of destruction in peace. Who wants that peace of God? I do. I want to know that I know. This morning, as all of you can stand, please stand. If you have any need, if you was here this morning and you've been struggling, trying to figure out, Lord, I know what you want me to do, I think, but I'm not sure. Come. We will pray for you. We will pray with you. If you're here this morning and you have a need from God, no matter what it is, I'm not going to put limitations on it. If you're here today and you're not sure where you'd spend eternity, that's the first step. God wants to have an encounter with each and every individual in this room and change your life forever. Whatever your need might be, come. We'll pray for you and pray with you. Sister Doris?